Where did April go? April 27th today is. I can't believe it just went like that, right? I felt like it was April 1st just yesterday. And we're looking at April 27th, end of the month, going into May. So good news that, March and April both were really good months. A lot of activity both of those months, both on closings and on pendings. And we don't see that really slowing down anytime soon based on the indicators. So, but yeah, April 27th. Good morning, Brian. Can't hear you, Brian. I don't know. Tina, can you hear Brian?
I cannot.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can, yeah.
I did a sound check and I said, can anyone hear me? And I thought you heard me when I was talking earlier. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, despite what's going on in the world and the market just keeps pushing through. At least up here in the Northeast, things are busy, busier than expected. It's always busy this time of year, but we are having a better year this year than expected. So ride the momentum. I know we're going to get into some stuff on this call, but it's a good time to, if you're not busy, to circle back and let's look and see what's, needs to be adjusted, because everyone should be moving at a good pace right now, Willie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and today I'm gonna share with you guys a guy by the name of Brendan Bouchard that I follow, and I was on a webinar over the weekend with him and listened to some of the replay today. Just made sense, and I wanted to share with you guys. And the other thing I want to do too is, as we get towards the end of this call, save a few minutes, I want you guys to type in the chat. And I'm not going to, call you out or put your name out there. But being that this is a Monday Mastermind call, we want to obviously give you guys things that you guys want to see and want to learn about more or go deeper on. And want to really feel out what some of your current struggles are right now. It's April 27, 2026. What are some of the things that you feel most that you're struggling with in the real estate business? And that way we can collect that information and put some information out for you for future calls and for future training. But why don't we go ahead and start with a quick update with Tina, and then we'll jump into today's topic. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning. So Casey is going to be having a training in the Rotterdam office tomorrow on the new website and CRM from 10 to 11. So if you plan to attend, please mark yourself as attending in the events section on Connect Team. Wednesday will be both our next golf committee meeting and our full agency meeting via Zoom. So golf committee will be meeting from 9:15 to 9:45, and then we will follow that with our full agency meeting from 10 to 11. And then front office Fridays continues every Friday. So this Friday, the 30th, from 10 to 11 via Zoom. And again, it's an open call where you can ask questions, get live help with the CRM website platform. Back to you guys.
All right. Great stuff. All right. Make sure you guys are on those calls for that new website. A couple of you I talked to, and what new website?
Exactly. I will say that Thursday's workshop, hands-on workshop that Casey did down in Rotterdam, was pretty well attended, but still not enough agents that need to be there. And I think, Willie, you opened up with, you want to get in the chat here what agents are looking for assistance on. It's one thing to ask for. It's another thing to be present when these trainings are present, because there's lots of times you and I, our phones ring, and I'll get questions from agents that, wow, we just went over this in detail on Monday's call. Did you miss Monday's call? No, I wasn't able to make it, this and that. So, like, not only do we want to cover the topics that'll help you guys, but hopefully you guys are engaging on these calls to benefit you. These calls are for you. They're masterminds, just not about me and Willie talking. We want to talk about things that you guys need to hear. And with that, I'll pass it over to you, Willie, because I know you have thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, it's true. I always go back to that, the famous one where everyone, it was like 10 people wanted information on time management. Yeah. So Brian and I put together this whole thing, tools, systems, everything, time management, buy back your time book. We took samples and everything else, and then we did a training, and like 8 out of 10 didn't show. And we reached back out to them and say, hey, what happened? And they said, well, we didn't have time. We didn't have time to go on the time management call, right? It's like, that was the whole purpose of having a time management call. So that you get time, or at least block it in. So jumping into today's topic, why I wanted to bring it up is because I feel that every agent's a little bit different, but every agent kind of struggles with the same thing when it comes to real estate. It's building their brand, building their real estate presence. And if you think about like Facebook, and you think about Instagram, and you think about LinkedIn and all these other things, like that could be turned off like that, right? and we've seen it, right, Brian? We've seen John Millen, for example, or other people have a 5,000, 6,000 followers, and they just get shut down overnight because of some comment that was made or something that was posted that, you know, was either taken the wrong way or was against Facebook rules. And sometimes you can't get that back out on. He happened to know someone who knew someone who knew someone in Facebook and was able to get it turned back on, but he was pretty much going to be shut down. But that's an example that I see a lot with a lot of people. So I think a lot of agents do a great job with social media, putting your stuff out there, getting stuff, you know, get in front. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's just people swiping through, and it's a very small percentage of your database, of your audience, right? And what I found is that, you know, when you put something up on Facebook, the algorithm is only going to shoot out to the people that are engaging with your post. So for instance, if you have 1,000 people on your social media, and that 1,000 people, you go ahead and put a post up, only about 10% of them are going to get it into their feed, right? Because Facebook is saying, okay, if Brian keeps clicking on Willie Miranda stuff, then I'm going to keep putting Willie Miranda stuff in Brian Miranda's feed. Right. But if Brian Miranda doesn't click or engage on Willie Miranda stuff, then Brian Miranda must not want to see that. So we're not going to send it to his feed, right? So you think about all the people that you have in your social media, and a lot of you are counting as, oh, well, social media is my database. And part of that is true, but know that a very small percentage of them are getting your information, and it can be taken away from you at any time. So the whole purpose of this call is that you guys understand is that I really want you to understand that your database is your business, right? Your database is your biggest asset in the real estate business. And each and every day you need to be going in there and massaging it, adding to it, deleting from it, being involved in it, setting up the follow-ups in it. Like that is your business, right? So, you know, we talk about email, right? Email marketing. We beat that up earlier in the season, and I know that a lot of agents are doing a great job with the weekly emails because I get them. I'm on your distribution list, and they're all a little bit different. But at the end of the day, it's fine, right? As long as that content is going out to them on a weekly basis. Because here's the thing, right? Like Brian, you talked to me this morning about it when we were talking. You were going into your emails from the weekend, correct? You were going into your emails from last week, cleaning them out because you're coming down to Florida tonight. But you do it anyway, right? You're getting caught up from the weekend and last week. We all do this, right? All of us go back into our email day 2 later, right? And it's a work format. We're working our email list, right? We're working our emails. On social media, I'm not going back to posts from a week ago or a day ago or 3 days ago, right? That's kind of gone. And people do the same. Consumers do the same. They're swiping through and then you're forgotten. But in an email format, you're showing up in your inbox. They may have not opened it, but they're going to go back to it and read whatever it is or say, geez, I just got this email here. I'll go back to it, you know, on Monday, or I'll go back to it, you know, a day or two from now when I can actually go through my emails. And so email is something that you own. No one can take it away from you. That email database, you own it. So Brendan Richard, and I'll share a screen with you guys real quick here. He's a personal life coach, right? He's been around for years. I used to follow him back in 2010, 11, 12. Then he kind of went private coaching, and then he's kind of back out there doing some things. And, you know, I purchased some of his stuff, but he's really, really, I feel a great thought leader and just a really good guy as far as the content that he puts out there. And it's not just on your life, but it's on your business as well. And as all business people, he said, we're all influencers, right? Each and every one of you guys are influencers where we want to influence people to work with us, right? When they go to buy or sell real estate, we want them to come to us. So he talks about 7 keys to be a thoughtful leader. And today he shared 3 of them. So I wanted to share those 3 with you, just to kind of get an idea, give you an idea of what you guys are on the right path. For those of you that collecting emails, getting into your database, sending content every week, you're doing the right cadence and getting in front of these. And as you grow and you continue to do that over a 12-month period, you're going to see your business take off. And a lot of you have already seen that have been doing weekly emails and being consistent on it every week. So Brian, you want to add anything to that while I take a sip of water?
Yeah, no, I think going back to the social media point, it's only a small percentage, 20 to 25 people that are seeing the same stuff. You have to be top of mind with your database and your sphere. And I think email is a great way. Even if they don't open it, We always talk about if you do a client event, even if they don't attend, at least they see the invite. It's all about the touches and being top of mind. So when they think of real estate, they think of you. And social media, we're not going to downplay it, but it can't be everything to your business. You're leaving a huge chunk of the audience that, like you mentioned, Willie, that's important to you, to your business. You're not touching them, staying top of mind with them.
Exactly. All right, well, here it is. Here's Brendan. If you want to know how to spell his name correctly, some of you have never heard of him before. Some of you have. Follow his stuff. He's on YouTube. He's on social media. You can go to growthday.com and, be part of his, like I don't have it. You see it up here at Upgrade. It's $49 a month. I don't do that. I just go into some of his free stuff. It's in the back of his platform. And I bought a course. It was like $47 on coaching because I do have a real estate coaching business that I have. So I did buy that just to get the recordings of what he did. But it's really good information. So if you can get on his email list, I highly recommend it. And it does apply to real estate. And what I mean by that is that we're all influencers on this call, right? We're all people that want to grow our book of business, right? Our real estate business or portfolio. And he said, the top 3 things right here that we talked about in this call, and I'll give you more stuff as we move on. But the 3 things was decide to go deep, right? Decide to go deep. So think about it. In whatever profession you're in, we're in real estate, right? From everyone on this call are on real estate. Go deep on that. Learn as much as you can about real estate. Learn about how to get sellers, how to work with buyers. Going deeper. Some of you guys have niche markets like Christine Serafini's got investors that she's really locked in on in commercial. Go deep on that, which she has gone deep on that. Some of you guys like to work with just sellers, right? I know Chris Maley works, he likes listings better. So he went deeper on that and he studied more on that. And, he went on podcasts on that and just went deeper to learn that content. So number 1 is to go deep. And he said, even if you can talk on multiple topics, just pick one and go deep. You can always add more topics as you move forward. So what he means by that is that if you're going to put content together and you're going to be an influencer of, say, listings, let's just take listings as an example today. You want to work with more sellers. Okay. Learn everything you can about sellers and what's in it for them, right? WIFM, what's in it for those sellers? And how can you go deeper to them? How can you deliver more service to them? What content and information do they want to know about that you can give them that they're going to feel really good about doing business with you, right? Maybe it's what's going on in the market, what's going on with current interest rates. What are some tips that they could do to get their home ready to get on the market? Should they do a pre-home inspection or not? These are all different things that you should be going deeper on. And we all use ChatGPT, right? I hope you guys do anyway. A lot of that stuff is right on there. If you say I want to go deeper, how do I go after sellers, and how do I prepare to be more of an influencer to seller, and what's most important to home sellers before they put it on the market? It'll spit out all kinds of things on you. Then go deeper on those subjects, right? So that's number 1, going deeper. Number 2, prioritize weekly content rhythm. And what he talked about this is the breakthrough is that you need to start planning your week and remain consistent. So every week, time block, even if it's just 2 hours a week, where you're time blocking, okay, what content am I going to get out to my database? What contact am I going to send out to my email list? What information or content I'm going to be putting out in social media? And just block a 2 or 3 hour time and prepare that. Now at Miranda, you guys have help to do that, right? You have Den that will help you with social media. Lily will help you with different information on posts and stuff like that you guys need. But then also yourselves, like you should take the initiative to learn a little bit about what other people are doing and then create it on your own, right? And do that. One of the things that Brandon said is that he does a weekly webinar, kind of like what we're doing right now, right? A weekly webinar where he just does long form content. So he'll just come up with a topic, he'll hit record on a Zoom, and he'll just put all the stuff out there like a teaching type thing for whatever. It could be 15 minutes, could be 30 minutes, whatever. It could be an hour, right? You're just putting really good information. And then at the end, he just splices that up, and that's his content for that week, right? He gets it out to his email list, he gets it out on a social media platform, but everything's around that general theme of whatever that topic may be. So let's say 1 week it's on pre-home inspections. Go deep on that. Actually do a recording on that. And that way you can put that out to the general public. You want to add anything, Brian, or are you just clearing the throat?
Yeah, no, just, going on, deep and stuff. You'd be surprised that just doing a little bit of research, how much more knowledge you'll have over the average person that's not, dealing with this stuff on a daily basis. They deal with it when they have a need, but the more you know, you become, like you always say, well, you become the expert, you become the authority, and then you can educate them with your content. And by educating with them, their content, even if you don't know them on a personal level, it will build trust. And as you say, people do business when they know, like, and trust. So this approach is important in order to build that trust factor and stand out. It's going to make you different than the competition.
It really does. I think that some agents do it and then they like, oh, no one's going to want to hear this, or it's not really that valuable. It is very valuable, especially for someone that's looking to buy and sell. And the more you educate, the more you attract, right? The more you educate, the more you attract people to work with you versus doing nothing at all. And at number 3, prioritize email capture. And he said, do this from day one. Like so many people I talk to, talked to someone over the weekend too that has a friend that capture. That's the number one thing. It's not even a phone number or a name. It's really just the email. And then they work from there. But the number one thing is getting that email, because emails, again, are going to help you build your database, right? The email they're going to open. Think about your Facebook and your Instagram. How do you log into those accounts? You use an email address usually, right? Same thing on this. So don't buy into the myth that email is not dead, right? I mean, I'm sorry, that email is dead, because it's not. Email is definitely not dead. And I heard that years ago when social media came out. Oh, email is going to be dead. It's dead. It's dead. It's the best thing ever. It's the like Mike McLean said, it's the golden goose, that email is, because it can't be taken away from you. People open it. Everyone has an email. And they're going to read it versus just swipe through, and they're going to go back to it, just like I said earlier. And it's definitely a great way to connect and communicate with your customers and your leads with focus. So it's definitely something that's a lot better. And like he said, he was giving an example that he goes, I have friends of mine that have 100,000, 1 million followers. And he said, but they don't have an email list. And he goes, and I have a huge email list, but not a ton of followers. And he says, I blow them away every time with my email list. Yeah. Right. It's one click of a mouse and it's going out to all of those different people very quickly. So the email is so important. And as your email database gets bigger and bigger, the bigger your business is going to be. And he said on one of the things on there, said, collecting 10 emails a week, some say 5 a day, whatever it is, doesn't matter, right? Just got to start collecting something and give yourself a goal. If it's 5 a day, that's 25 weeks, that's 100 a month, that's 1,200 over a course of a year. You start emailing and you have a list of 1,200 people. The sky's the limit in your business, right? Compared to what you're doing now. Think about what you're doing now to attract people and how you're staying in front of them and how you're staying top of mind. So that was what I wanted to share with you guys. Take a look at Brendan Bouchard, his information. I'll give you a part 2, let's say next time. We'll follow up. And then Brian, I know you have some good stuff that we're going to be sharing on working with buyers and setting the right expectations for them when it comes to putting these multiple offers in, whether they go lower than the list price, higher than list price, not going too far above list price, not coming too far, but helping them get through it so that you don't lose a deal, because it's a very short window when you're negotiating. And if you don't get it right, you're going to lose a deal and potentially lose a client because of it.
And it kind of segues into what we talked about earlier, Willie. What do the agents want or need to hear? And a lot of the calls I've been taking recently is, hey, I got this client, they're in a multiple offer situation. This is what's going on. They want to go an asking price or they want to go lower, and should I even write it? So just, talking about some strategies to educate the client and put them in a position to win, right? So, or prevent them from failing, basically. So we can talk about that, but we want to hear from you guys. What are some of the things that you guys need to hear about or want to hear about that's affecting your business right now? And there's still a lot of time left, really, a lot of time left. I know we're talking about how we're through April, but there's a lot of the year left already. And there's some agents that, they tend to give up early, or they get busy. They get really busy this time of year and they stop doing the things that's going to get them to the finish line, right? So think about where you want to be at the end of the year and what is it that you need to do or continue doing to get there, right? So we could talk about successes too. What's working for some of you guys say, wow, I'm having my best year ever. Why? Is it because the market's hot, or is there something that you changed in your business? Let's talk about it. Hey, the market's busy and everyone's busy around me, but for some reason, my business isn't clicking. Well, let's look at it. Let's take it apart. What are some of the things that you guys want to talk about? That's what these calls are for, and this is what we want to bring to you guys. So as Willie mentioned before, Willie, you want to just have them throw stuff in the chat?
Yeah, why don't you guys go ahead and type it in there. Again, I'm not going to call anyone out on it. This is going to be captured. We're going to put it on a spreadsheet. We'll go through it, and then we'll give you guys some of the findings on it. Not with names, but definitely we want this information from you guys to really see what you're struggling with most, right? We're a very proactive organization. We're always looking to fine tune and better serve you guys, but we don't know. We can't rip your heads off to know what's in that mind of yours that you want to do. So, you know, one here that came up, you know, time management, you know, I see that just popped up on here. And time management is something that, again, we can't manage time. Just can't. There's no way. We all get the same number of hours a day, and we cannot manage our time, but we can prioritize our time.
Right.
We can make choice management as a priority and make sure that we block out those things, because if we don't protect your time and block time to make those calls or to capture those emails or to learn about certain things, you're going to take yourself out of the business, right? And the same thing with ChatGPT. I was talking to someone yesterday about that, and ChatGPT and AI and all this stuff. Like, I feel it's just like getting everywhere you turn, everyone's talking about it. It's kind of getting to the point where it's getting annoying, but it's here. It's going to be here to stay. We need to learn about it. But here's the difference: is that it's not going to replace the real estate agent, but it is definitely going to replace. It's actually going to add value to the top agents and the agents that are in it, that learn it, understand it, and utilize it, because it's going to give them so much more time. It's going to give them a lot more time back because they're going to take shortcuts on their emails and on their research and all the different things that they need to do. AI is going to take care of for them so they can get to the next deal. Where the people that don't embrace it are going to be there struggling, working, trying to figure this stuff out, and they're going to be doing less deals. So really just going to separate top agents from agents that just don't want to embrace it. So that's really what AI is all about. But time management is a great one. What else we have in here? Anyone else got some more? Come on, guys. I know you got more on there. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you know why we get time management requests all the time is because I think it's the lack of structure in this business. You know, we talk about it in Essentials, setting up the perfect week, setting up some structure, starting with goals. What are the activities you need to do to hit those goals? But then the other mistake I see agents struggling with is consistency, right? You can have all the structure in the world, but if you're not consistently following a winning formula, right, there's too many distractions in our industry. So you have to learn how to turn out the noise, control, you know, what you want to do, your activities based on the goals that you set. So yeah, we always cover that training. We'll get into that training, but you know, every time we ask this question, what do agents want? That's usually in the top 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a few of you have this on here, so that's good. Struggling with time management. Sellers that want to, sellers that want to sell, but need to buy in a specific area and are afraid that they're not going to find a house. That's another good one.
Sell buys. Yep. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
talk about those.
Sell buys. Yep. That's exactly what that is. So they want to sell their house, but they got nowhere to go. So,
or they don't want to give up the rate they have right now and spend more money. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
and some people don't care about the rate, but some people, you know, they just have to because of down, like I have someone that, why I'm thinking about that, Brian, is this weekend, I had a referral from, you know, Mike DeBrino. He had someone that he had referred, and this person has a townhouse, but now they have a baby and outgrowing it, and they have to sell. They don't care about rates. They don't care about the low rate they have in their house. They just need a bigger home, but they can't find it. Right.
And I think that's why we're seeing some more activity this year, Willie, where we didn't see it in the last couple of years. Is, you know, that rate is getting to the point where people have outgrown that house at that great rate, and they need to make a move for various reasons, right? They're growing the family, or they need to downsize. There was a death in the family. All of a sudden, now they got this property they got to get rid of. So now we're seeing more activity and more transactions because people just can't hold on to that low rate forever. You know, the market has to move.
Yeah. Don, did you have your hand raised?
I did. How are you?
Good morning, Don.
Good morning. I just wanted to say that I've had a success by accident. After all these years, one of the things I notice when sometimes I text you and I've never used it in my life is do not disturb. So I accidentally put it on my phone because my husband was freaking out because my notifications were going off while I was in bed. But it was because of my sleep. I use a sleep app. So I'm like, how can I measure my sleep but not have my phone go off? So I shut off notifications and somehow put it in airplane mode and put it on do not disturb and all these things. So the next morning I got up and I had this whole list from the night before, and I'm like, I wasn't disturbed. And I actually had done like, I'm like, this is weird how because I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, my phone usually starts blowing up at 6. And I had my virtual assistant call at 8. And I said, I cannot believe I don't have any messages. But the takeaway, I realized someone had called and said, I can't get through. I realized what I had done, which was what I'm doing now, not obviously having it off for 3 hours, but that time period, I got my 5 texts done. I got my 5 emails done. I got my social media done. And normally I never would have gotten that because while I'm doing it, I'm constantly disturbed. So that was it. I don't know if people use that as a tool, but it's just a button on your phone and you could probably speak to more of that. So that was a win for trying to manage the tasks that you need to do, because all those tasks got done in 15 minutes. But I could never find the 15 minutes because my mind was always like a ping pong, table. And then the second thing, I'm actually working with one of the agents, at Miranda, and we do, my other struggle was notes. I'd gotten off that because I, hadn't had someone that helped me with that. So we meet weekly for 1 hour, and we both do our notes, birthdays, anniversaries, and we don't even talk sometimes, but we just sit there and have that accountability, which is in the last 2 weeks have gotten me about 25 notes out, and many, I don't know how many people make that part of their routine, but it's very, satisfying and fulfilling to me, and makes me feel good. But the response I've got, like I used to, was phenomenal. But so the takeaway I'd say is the accountability. Even if you are going to do your 15 minutes of these tasks, if you have an account coupled with an accountability partner, may help some people.
Yeah, that's a great point, Don, and that's exactly what we're trying to get everyone to really understand, is that you have to protect your time. You have to time block it, and you do a great job with that, because there's times I've called you and you're like, I'm in a time block or whatever, and we respect that, and then we always follow up after or whatever. But having that accountability is important. The personal notes, again, listen, guys, everything works, and Don just said, when I stopped doing personal notes, I stopped getting the engagement with my database. But when I start doing personal notes and start doing this, then all of a sudden I get engagement and I get more business. And it's not rocket science here, but the activity, right, of writing notes is what's producing the results. But if you don't time block that time to do that, you're not going to get the results from it. So I know we've said it different ways and, kind of massage it the best way we can. But at the end of the day, you just have to time block it. And, Dawn mentioned, like, a lot of times I do. If I'm on a webinar, I'll put it on do not disturb a lot, or I'll just put it on airplane mode. Nothing's going to burn up. I don't like to do it sometimes, like if, back in the day, like there's something going on important in your life, right? Like when both when Brian and I had my mom, when she was, in the hospital and all that stuff that was going on, I always had my ear on my phone, right? You can put emergency bypasses on that. So
I know you have that.
Yeah, so at nighttime now, I have Brian on there and my brother Chris on there, I have my kids on there, Sherry, and if there's an emergency, someone's calling me in the middle of the night, that's the only thing that's going to ring. But I can leave it on do not disturb, so I'm not getting all notifications and all that information. But you could do the same thing during the day, because as soon as you get a notification, what are you doing? You're focused on doing notes, and then all of a sudden, oh, let me get back to that guy in a text. Let me get back to that person on, an email. And if you just time block that, even like Don said, 15 minutes and a half hour, nothing's going to blow up or burn up in that half hour. So you might as well go ahead and do that and take care of it, or get up a little bit earlier when things are not as busy. Try to get all of your pro activities done first thing in the morning, so that come 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. That's why we do these calls at 8:30 in the morning. we have more people that show up. They want to get their day going. They want to start Monday morning off strong. And this is, you know, a good way to focus on that. But if I did it at Monday at 11, we'd have probably half the people, because now your day is already off the rails, right? So we'll talk more about that, because there's a lot of time management, time blocking, and how to build a database, how to get more listings, how to get more buyers. So these are all good. So guys, thank you so much. You know, what are the 5 non-negotiables every day? Oh, Christine Tirpin said, yeah, 5 negotiables every day, 5 calls, 5 video messages, 1 email a week. You know, that should be a non-negotiable. And that's something that I know Christine and I've talked, she's been doing for years. People are like, how does she do that? How does she get that all out? Because she does it every day. She does it every week. It's time blocked. You know, Nikki Davies with the, I know she shared with her weekly email. Tuesday morning, 6:55 a.m. I get an email every week from her for the last 3 years, and without fail. So just got to be time blocked into your schedule. And when you do that, the results will follow. All right, so we're over the hour, Brian. Anything in closing?
Yeah, piggybacking off what Don said, the other element there that's important, I think, to our industry and our business that's effective is accountability. So picking a good accountability partner. You don't have to wait till we have groups. I mean, we have groups strategically throughout the year, but I see a lot of agents really working together now and holding themselves accountable. And those are the ones that are pushing each other. So if you work good with someone like Don was using it in that example, find a buddy up and do accountability, because it does help at all. It's not the answer to everything, but it does help.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a group. It could just be one person, right?
Right.
But create it and just make a time. And even if it's just a 15-minute a week, everyone has 15 minutes you can block out for accountability. So, all right, well, good stuff. Great stuff. Thank you guys. I think it was like 10 or 12 people that participated and sent me something. Thank you. We'll get some of these things typed up and make sure that we share it with you guys on future calls. But I'll go through the other steps from Brendan next week. And then Brian will do the buyer piece as well. So have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
Wednesday, full agency meeting. See you guys.
Yeah,
there.
full agency meeting on Wednesday. Thank you, Brian, for that reminder again.
All
All right.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.